How's it going, guys? I'm Dustin with Heart Cruise Racing. If you follow our channel, then you know we own a 2021 Ford Bronco Sport Badlands Edition. This is one of the original Bronco Sports. This is one of the ones that sat on a showroom in California, and we happened to be out there early last year and popped it off their showroom and took off with it. So yes, this is a very, very original one. Some fun facts if you don't follow our channel, we actually have the longest roof rack available on Amazon, and it was actually used in Ford's emoji of the Bronco Sport. Yep, that's not a roof rack that is available through Ford whatsoever. That was actually our roof rack used during one of our trips, and they converted that over to an emoji. And we were the first ones to ever truly overland a Bronco Sport. Early last year, we were the first ones to go from California to Ohio through the mountains and camping on cliff edges and all over the place. So those are some fun facts. I have just over a decade in the automotive industry, in the custom automotive industry. We do custom automotive upholstery. You know, I've worked as a painter, things like that. So when we install parts, we're going to give you the best advice out there, especially for the Bronco Sport. I do have multiple college degrees in the automotive field, and one of them happens to be automotive technologies, as in new production vehicles. So I give you the best information on the Bronco Sport, hands down, anywhere out there. If I give you information, it's important information, because my normal day-to-day job is writing online information. So when you Google something like, what happens when I take my vehicle in to get an oil changed? That's my writing. I'm a contract writer, which means I write it and then the company publishes it as their work. Yes, it does suck that you don't get credit for the work that you publish, but it is what it is. So today, we're going to be unboxing, checking out, and installing the rain covers for the tops of the windows. I don't know what Ford technically calls these. Let's see. Deflectors. So I'm going to cover my address up here. So here's the actual part number, and they're considered deflectors. What these do is they clip right over the front and tops of the windows, and they keep rain and wind and things like that from getting in through the top. The big thing is rain. This gives you the option to crack your window without getting rain in there. That's the big reason, okay? They can say there's other reasons, there's not. So we bought these last year, and it's just been a little bit too cold for me to want to install them. You don't really want to install these under about 70 degrees. That's kind of their baseline point for anything you want to paint or glue or adhere, is about 70 degrees. Now, of course, you can warm things up with like a heat gun or a hair dryer. You just have to be very cautious when you do that, because it can go too far real fast, okay? And you don't want to mess up your new paint. You don't want to damage anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to see what they say to do. And then we're going to talk about why you do something, the best practices to do it, and they're going to give you good instructions, but we're going to explain why they're so important. Because there's some things you can skip, and there's some things you can't skip. And with adhesives, there's a lot of things you can't skip. You've never seen my videos before. They are a little bit longer, because I do want to educate you on everything. I want you to understand. I want you to walk away from these videos not saying, yes, I installed those, but also why they were so important and why you installed them and why you did what you did. And you know at that point in time that they're going to last and they're not going to fall back off. So we're going to slide these out of the box. Make sure there's nothing else in that box. All right. So these are going to come in one singular vacuum sealed package, which is good, because oxygen is what kills everything in the world, and vacuum sealing it is what will protect it from oxygen. You can see the instructions up here. These say that they're produced by Ford. Just looking over everything. Here's your parts numbers up here. So it says one kit keeps the rain out, like I explained, and you have, lets fresh air in. A lot of people have this misconception this is going to change everything about wind, and it will to a point, okay? But really, your vehicle is designed to propel that wind away from your, it doesn't want to just jam all the wind in there anyways. That's not really the reason you do it. Let's just go down here. It says custom acrylics, transparent smoky color, so we should get some light through there. Not that that's really our focus. Reduces window fogging and sun glare. I think that's a little bit of a stretch. Aerodynamically designed, again, that's a stretch. And you don't want it to cause a bunch of resistance, because that'll cause this to pull off over time, but still a little bit of a stretch. For selective passenger vehicles, complete installation instructions, and no drilling necessary. So let's pop this open and go over the instructions. Now I'm just going to look here quick to see if there's a better way to open it. Me personally, I would run a razor blade around the edge. I do that with all vacuum sealed stuff, but I just want to see what they give you as an option to open it. And it's not looking like this is all separating on the end, so it's not looking like You can just grab and peel it open. Nope. Look on the back. There's no cutaways. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a razor blade and I'm very gently going to go. You want to do 3 sides. So I'm going to go across the top, all the way down one of these sides, and then across the bottom. And again, you want to be very careful not to scratch anything. So let me go grab that. Now, I say razor blade, you can use any sharp blade. You don't want to really use a dull blade because you're going to have to push into it more. You don't really want to risk causing damage. So just use a sharp blade. And again, I'm just going to come up here. You don't really have to cut against the piece. As you see, I'm cutting along the outside here. You know, it is vacuum sealed, so as soon as you get out here with it, it's going to start to release. Put it upright, make sure nothing falls. You can see it's starting to let go. Just want to be cautious. We don't want to flip everything to the ground. Okay, so we cut 3 sides. You can see we can start to lift that up. Let's, yeah. First off, clean all debris or any excess dirt off of your window trim. If that's, grab a rag and go across it or whatever, just get everything nice and clean. The first true step after you clean off your window trims or your rubberized edge there is you're going to scuff everything with the little Brillo pad or the scuff pad that they put inside your packet. Okay, so you're really going to want to scrub everything down. Be careful you're not hitting your painted surfaces. This will kind of take away your shine, and it's going to kind of dull that all out. So just go around the edge and kind of scuff anything that's going to be glued to. Okay, this is very important. You want to break that top surface open. And then you want to follow that with the alcohol pads that's also inside the packaging. Okay, these are just alcohol pads, alcohol prep pads, probably same ones you're going to get in the medical supplies. They give you 4 of them, so 1 for each window. So scuff everything, wipe it down clean, and then you're going to want to let it air dry. Okay, that's not in the instructions. You want to let the air dry because alcohol evaporates very quickly. Okay, a lot of the cleaners that we use in the automotive industry, we use them because they evaporate and they don't leave behind a residue. And that's one of the reasons you use alcohol or things like acetone and mineral spirits. That's why we use them. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to scrub everything down with this adhesive promoter. Okay, what adhesive promoter does is it kind of breaks down that top surface, and it allows you to more adhere something to something like rubber. So they're using a 3M double-sided tape inside the packaging, and it's a rubber seal. So rubber is a petroleum-based product. It's oily and sticks, and adhesives don't like to stick to oil. So that's the point of the adhesive promoter and wiping everything down with alcohol pad is you're trying to take away all that surface oils. Okay, you're kind of trying to remove all that so you can go in and glue. One thing I'm going to say is when you're doing all this and you're scrubbing and you're getting the surface oils off of your product, there is that risk that your oils can dry out over time, or that rubber seal can dry out over time. So I'm going to say that over time, as you're driving your vehicle, if you notice that starts to fade or that starts to, lose its elasticity or that rubbery feel, you need to clean it with like a plastic cleaner, plastic specific cleaner, or a rubber specific cleaner. Okay, we have rubber sprays for like the door seals on a race trailer. Stay there. You need to clean it with something like that. And what this does is it applies those oils back to the surface. Okay, you know that old trick where you see people take a torch and they heat up like the plastic trim to make it shine again? Don't do that. Okay, absolutely do not do that. Over time, the sun's UV rays dry out plastic, or it evaporates that oil that's inside the plastic. And when you torch it, you pull the oils from deeper in the plastic to the surface, but it causes the oils to not be present deeper in the plastic at that point. And over time, they'll actually get brittle and powderize, or they'll break apart. Instead, go get a plastic or rubber cleaner and actually clean it with the right product, because you apply those oils back into it. If you don't have that and you're just going to go to a car wash, consider taking a rag with something like like a mineral oil or a vegetable oil or some kind of natural oil, and just rub it back into those seals and those plastics. I promise you that is a cheap way to do it, but it'll still look good and it's going to protect your plastics. The big thing with the vehicle specific cleaners is they have UV protectants in it, or protecting things from the sun. The sun is what causes all sorts of damage to your vehicle, from the yellowing of the headlights to the paint fading. A lot of it comes from the sun, okay? So that's why you need to use automotive specific cleaners, because they're designed for UV protection. So, adhesive promoter. You're going to break down the surface of the rubber, but you have to get anything to stick to it, especially 3M products or any kind of double-sided tape like what's being used. So you have to apply it, but you got to kind of do it thick. You know, their pads, kind of got to have to rub it in there pretty good. One thing, and the book will tell you, is to use gloves. If you know you have sensitive hands, use gloves, okay? I deal with these different chemicals and things all the time. I know I'm not going to have any kind of irritation from it, but you don't know unless you're using these. So put gloves on, okay? Protective gloves, and if you have sensitivity with breathing, put on a mask, because you are using alcohol and these adhesive promoters, which could cause you issues, especially over time if you're doing a lot of these. Not that you should be. But if you are, just wear the protective materials. Don't touch your eyes. Don't do that. Don't touch your face. Don't touch any sensitive skins like your face or your neck if you have this on your hands or your gloves. But yes, adhesive promoter is the next step. Scrub it in there because you want to break down that surface. And then last but not least is you actually have the adhesive itself, okay? See this red here? So this is actually double-sided tape. It's a foam backing. It's what we call trim adhesive. We call it a lot of names, really, okay? But what it is it's a double-sided tape, and some of them actually have foam. So if you look at this piece down here, see how it has foam? And then this one up here does not, okay? Or at least it's not as thick. And what that is this is just trying to fill up any possible gaps or space that you would have in there and push it out a little further, but not make it so solid, okay? So if you bump this, as some sort of resistance to flex, where up here you want it pretty solid and tight fit. What you want to do is you kind of want to pick, kind of want to get under there. The razor blade helps if you don't have nails. I don't really have nails, but you want to start to lift that up, and it's gonna just come on. See, nails help. But as you can see, you're just gonna start to peel it like that, right there, and you can feel it. Don't really want to touch it a whole lot with your oily fingers. Your hands, your skin has a lot of oil in it, so try to avoid touching this whatsoever. Okay. The point is that you're rinsing away and you're wiping away all those oils. Don't touch the surface. Don't touch the adhesive. I just wanted to show you that it was sticky, but that's kind of the big thing, okay? You want to peel it off. It's nice to peel it from both sides, because then you can grab it and pop that last piece off. It's better than going like this. That causes a lot of static, which could cause dirt and things to come to this. Shouldn't be a big issue, honestly, but you know, you want to do this in a clean area. But you're just going to peel it off. Once you get started, it peels real easy, and then you're going to want to line it up just perfect. Just tap it, just make sure it's where you want it. Just tap it on there, and then when you get it where you want it, you're going to press, and you're going to go from the center out and press anywhere you see the adhesive. Again, this works better if you're in heat. So if you're doing it in the cold, you really want to heat up your vehicle so that adhesive can really bond to the rubbers. And then the last thing you want to do is peel off the protective screens they put on there. This is just on there so you don't scratch it when you're moving things around, when you're installing it. So leave it on for now. I did notice when I opened the packaging up that it kind of wanted to grab this and pull it off. So I was careful about trying to keep it on there. Anything that's going to keep you from causing a bunch of scratches is pretty nice. Not that these won't get scratched down the road, but you know. So all right, I'm going to get to work. Again, we need to follow all these steps one by one, okay? Don't skip a step. Really do go through and, you know, wash everything and then scrub it down, and then use the alcohol pad and make sure it's dry, and then use the adhesive promoter and then get these on there, okay? So, yeah, I'm going to check to make sure that both, oh, they're here. This is the left rear. The other one's going to be the right rear. What is left and right in a vehicle? Let's play that question. What's left and what's right? Well, here's the easy way to figure it out. You know this piece can only go on one way, right? So these aren't asymmetrical. See the curve at the bottom? Alright, so if you have any questions, you just double check things, right? So we now know that the left considered the driver's side. Now, they say that there's a standard for this, and I'm going to tell you this right now, okay? They say that there's a standard, that the left side of the vehicle is the driver's side, and the right side of the vehicle is the passenger side, and you're supposed to look at it from inside the vehicle. Tell you right now, I've looked at classic books, like classic automotive books, and pretty much anything on the front or the engine bay or anything that could be in the front of the vehicle is then reversed back the other way, because the left side of the engine bay is not the left side of the vehicle. What I'm trying to say is just double check if you're not sure, okay? Some things come left and right, and most of the time they're left and right from the inside of the vehicle, but just double check, okay? It wasn't anything to put this up there. Find where the curve was compared to the window curve and say, yes, this is definitely the driver's side. So we're going to start on the right side of the vehicle, the passenger side, and I'm going to get to work, and you just watch if you want to watch, and okay, see you later. Alright, so real quick. While that dries before I go sticking these on. So first off, your alcohol pads, you can see how much of those oils and stuff that's pulled off of there. And again, you want to scrub it gentle, but you want it to be, you want to see the scratches in there, you want to see the matteness, and then you're going to wipe it down with alcohol pads. If your alcohol pads touch your paint or anything like that, don't freak out, okay? But it is going to remove the oils and the protectants, the waxes, or whatever else you have on your vehicle in most cases. Relatively acidic, and it's going to start to remove that stuff and strip it away. Now, what they're calling an adhesive promoter, when I smelled it, I'm 90% sure it's acetone, okay? It smells exactly like acetone, and that's something that we use a lot in the automotive industry. Nail polish remover, that's acetone. So if you're sensitive to nail polish remover, then you might be sensitive to acetone. That's what it is, or at least that's what it smells exactly like. So again, if you touch the paint, it's not like terrible, but it is gonna, it's harsher than the alcohol, so it's gonna strip away even more oils, and you can see that because the acetone pad is also black. Now each one of those strips, now there is only one packet of acetone for the left and right side. So what I did is I went through and I scrubbed the whole side, and that way I could use the acetone wipe or the adhesive promoter wipe, and then I can stick both back to back. Now I'm just giving it a chance to air off and evaporate. You don't want any of those chemicals still on there, or it might not adhere correctly. Now acetone, it does evaporate very quickly, and that's why we use it in the automotive field. It pretty much will take anything off of any surface, like oils or waxes or anything like that, but then it evaporates very quickly and doesn't leave a residue. But I'm just going to be safe, and I'm going to give it an extra minute just to air off and just to clean. Okay, and then I'm about to go over now, and I'm going to stick, the rear, stick the front, and then we'll go to the other side and do the whole process over again. Now, you could go one window at a time. The issue is that you might rush the process. That's really what it comes down to, okay? It does take a minute to scrub everything, and it does take a minute to wipe it down. But when you start to wipe, you're going to do the alcohol wipe and let that dry. You're going to do the acetone wipe and let that dry. And then you're going to go right into sticking the surface, or then you go right into sticking then you're going to go right into sticking the pieces on, and you could rush that process. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a larger surface area, or I'm doing the front and the rear windows as far as prep goes. That way when I start to stick it on, I can take my time. I can go on and stick the other one on. And one thing you want to be careful of is you want to align everything correctly. You're going to align it from the center, from the front and rear door, and you're going to align it outward, and that's so you don't want those two to touch. You want them to have a small gap that matches the door gap, so when everything's opening and moving, they don't hit. So just kind of be cautious of that, and then make sure your arch on that front door is aligned correctly. So just set it up there, tap it if you want to get it to start to stick, and make sure it's where you want it, and then push it on, and then push it from the center out. So, while we let that one dry, if you want to be smarter than me, if you just open the door and roll the window down, you don't have to worry about scratching anything else with that Brillo pad. Yeah, I do dumb things sometimes. So, here's this side installed. You can see how much of a drop that gives you. Okay? I think it looks awesome. See, it's up here as well. Again, you peel the stuff off when you're done, so probably go through and make sure there's no adhesive on there. But I think it looks great, okay? I really think it adds to some of that aggressive look. And then if we go to the other side, because I'm waiting for that to dry, we can see how the difference, you know? Yeah, I know these windows are down, but again, there's just a difference in the height. So if you crack that window and open it, you won't scratch the surface. Alright, so there it is. Everything's installed. You can see you know, just how much lower these go. And again, I love the look of this. You know, one of the big reasons we wanted to get them is because it looks nice. The biggest reason we wanted to get them is because the advantage when you're in the car, okay? As summertime comes, and we do a lot with search and rescue canines and things like that, we want to be able to crack us windows, leave them cracked, and not worry about them. That means I can roll this window down to here, and no one from the outside will know that window's cracked, okay? And then we're gonna have a little bit of airflow in here. Now, our vehicle is video and audio and climate monitored when the dog's in here. You can see the dog's area back there, and then you know, water and all his gear's over there in those bags. But you know, it's just that idea of being able to leave the window down. Even the back one. Oh. So if I break my glasses, apparently, let's pop back together. But if I look back there, okay, look how low that window is right now. And, you know, from the outside, it's really not that low. Now, I could roll that window down, say, for the pup to look at, put his head out there. And again, we're losing a couple inches off the top where he won't be able to jump out and where people won't be able to put their hands in there. So if I put this window, you know, say here, just so he gets some more air and more access from the outside, you know, this is less likely for people to put their hands inside of. One thing we're going to be doing is putting a tag across the top saying that, you know, it's a trained canine, don't pet him, and that everything in here is, you know, monitored and controlled, you know, from our phones, so that way people stop worrying about him. Okay, we do leave our vehicle running a lot, and that's one of our concerns. You know, we have our vehicle running and everything locked, but we don't want people to come around it, because he does bark and grumble, and it's just part of him being a search and rescue dog. But we don't want people to be concerned if he's in here barking at them to stay back, and then, you know, they're like, oh, the dog is panicking, and I'm like, no, actually we're monitoring it, and it's a perfect 70 degrees in there. But, you know, so that's one of our big reasons, is we want to be able to give the dog continuous airflow without people going up and putting their fingers in there. Again, this window's down. You can see where the top of the window is right here. You know, nobody can put their fingers in there, but you do get airflow through there. And that was one of our big reasons. Same thing with this side. All these windows are down, but like this one, you know, of course somebody could pull this off, but it's just that idea of being able to you know, have the dog in there and have just that idea of being able to, you know, have everything inside with some airflow and nothing going to be concerning. Now, the nice part about with our situation is, you know, we're going to put decals across here. That way, you know, when the dog is in there, we roll that down a little bit. It's visible. And then when we roll it up, it's hidden behind here. Kind of what we enjoy. It'll give it a cleaner look. But there you go. That's the unboxing and installation of the rain deflectors, or whatever you want to call them. Rain deflectors is what they are. Check them out. I think it makes the Bronco Sport look much better. I think it looks like a nice trim piece that runs all the way down through the back, especially with it lining up, you know, from here into this trim piece that drops down. I think they look great. I think they're built decent. They are partially see-through. They're like smoke color. I'm not going to say that they're the best built piece out there. They are just stuck on with double-sided tape, so they could fall off. But the nice thing is you can scuff them and put a new set on for reasonably cheap. The last step that they didn't put inside that book is to clean up your mess. I'm bad about this. You can see when I was peeling those, I just tossed the plastics down on the ground, because when I'm going, I want to peel everything off and get it up there. I'm not going to be trying to stuff stuff in a trash can. I hope I don't touch that adhesive. So I threw it on the floor. Clean up your stuff. The big thing is when you're out exploring, when you're out adventuring, make sure you tag us in it. Okay? Hashtag HC Racing. I want to check out your adventures, and I want to check out your builds. I want to see your Bronco Sport. So type that hashtag in, even if you're on like the Facebook groups and things like that. I'm there. I promise you, I'm posting all the time. Matter of fact, I made a post today when I videoed this. This is the 9th, about our roof rack. Alright guys, so my phone died. Doesn't matter if it's sitting next to the computer all day, I always forget to plug it in, right? Yeah, I'm pretty bad about that. So my phone died, and I'm sorry. So my phone died, but that doesn't change anything, right? It's just a little darker now. So you get out there, tag us in your pictures, tell us about your adventures. Let's go have fun, build cool things. That's a big one, right? Give me a subscribe, okay? You made it this far through my video. It means you at least halfway enjoyed it, and you didn't think I was too much of a annoyance in your life. So give me a subscribe, okay? Now that you've already watched my videos, Facebook is already going to show you and recommend my next ones. The subscriptions help me. That's the reality of it, okay? With the way Facebook is now, they really changed everything, and with all the different viewing platforms, it's something stupid like 92% or 94% of my viewers are not subscribers. And a lot of them are return viewers. Isn't that strange? Okay, so clearly you like my information, and it's good stuff. We've done everything from recalls to reviews. We're probably one of the most informative without being paid by Ford. I have no sponsorship or connection with Ford whatsoever. Hey Ford, if you want to sponsor this build or my Stage Rally Ford Ranger, that would be great, because I sure do spend a lot of money on Fords, and I'm not even a Ford person. We also have a lot of other projects, guys. If you want to see cool content, custom auto content, having fun content, DIY content, this is the place to be, okay? Custom bikes, got slammed Chrysler 300C, doing a rotary Miata. It's just projects on top of projects, and we're having a blast doing it. You know what would make it a little bit better is if you were here to enjoy it with us. But again, we want to see what you're doing. It's not all about us, guys. It's about you, okay? So tag us in there, or shoot us a message here on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere else. It's all the same thing. Hard Cruise Racing, guys. We will be out racing this weekend, a couple days. So I actually have to get off here, and I have to go clean out a whole race trailer, because we've been using it for a mobile custom auto upholstery shop. Pretty much, we've been doing a lot of on-site stuff, and we have to race in 1 week, less than a week. So yeah, stick around and check that out. And if you're watching this video more than a week from when I posted it, I'll likely have posted racing videos and other cool videos, so check that out. Most importantly, as much as I want you to be here watching my content, sitting on your phone will absolutely not get you out into nature and not get your projects done. The phone is the devil. I know, right? It's weird. I make content and I'm telling you to get off your phone. I want you here, but I want you out doing cool things. Post your cool things. Show me your cool things. And most importantly, do something good for yourself today and have a good day. Have a good day.